you don't necessarily need right off the bat. But details are definitely going to help you get a better entry. But when it comes down to finding where your entry is going to be, just look at the extremes of the market. So here's the low. This is the low I want to play off of. This is the reason why. Because if we go to the 5-minute time frame, you're going to be able to see over here something that we call equal lows. Does anybody know what an equal low means? Can somebody drop in the chat what is underneath an equal low? If you find an equal low in the market, what do you think is underneath that? Okay, Nadia said liquidity. Patino says liquidity. Oh, Valentina says liquidity. What's up? Kevo says liquidity. Yep. Cool. Noobs stop losses. Yeah, for sure. Money. Za says money for sure. So everybody's pretty much spot on. You're gonna find liquidity, right? And that's why when I look at this, I have all these different templates, but you're gonna be able to see this right here. This was a dollar sign. I'm zooming in as much as I can, but this is a dollar sign. This is just to signify that we have liquidity under here. And as soon as the market kind of went underneath it, then this turns into a liquidity capture. So this is no longer liquidity under here because we swept it. So once we swept it, look what happened right after that. It came underneath this low and then it went above it and just freaking skyrocketed, which is freaking awesome. But right here, you're seeing that this was the floor. People thought this was the floor and then it broke through the floor. And that would scare people. If somebody's buying here thinking this is going to go up and it's actually dumping, this is probably going to scare a lot of people out of their positions. And that's exactly why it jumped up, because a majority of people thought this was going to continue lower, but it really didn't. It really just kept going higher. And so they were right. They were right about the direction, but they weren't right about the timing. So it looks a lot cleaner on the 15-minute time frame, because when you come over here, you're going to be able to see, like, look at this. Here's the liquidity, and we swept it, and then we just jumped up and left that huge imbalance. So what I want to look for is that move that came and swept that liquidity. This is what we call the institutional move. A lot of people refer to it as the FU candle, but in reality, I'm just going to call it the institutional move. Okay. Now, this is the move that came and swept liquidity. Now, you can argue, is it this candle? Is it this candle? Is it this candle? I'm going to help you guys clarify that. The institutional move is the move that captures liquidity. So it's the whole ass move right here. Okay. This is the move that captures liquidity. Now, what I want to look for, and this is, you could write this down in your notes, the order block. Now, there's a million different names for this. But the order block is the last down candle before the up move after the liquidity sweep. I look for this order block after the liquidity sweep. I can't stress this enough. This candle has made me single-handedly this week, has made me like 6% on a 100K account. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Just because of this candle. And if you guys are doing the math, if you're trading a funded account, 6%, dude, you're only 4% away from passing the challenge. If you're in the verification, you're past the verification. If you're on a live account, you're eating serious bread. And 6 doesn't sound like a lot, but that's only like two days. Like, it's Wednesday, dude. So the order block after the liquidity sweep. This is one of my favorite setups that I've just kind of fallen in love with. You got this liquidity here, you sweep this low, and then guess what? You got this order block after the liquidity. Okay. And I'm going to go over one more setup after this so you guys can see it again. But we had that sweep, we had this order block, and I highlighted it with this gray box. Okay. And then when I highlighted it with this gray box, I put a risk to reward tool to just kind of map out my trade. So as soon as this thing comes down in here, I want to look for buys. I want to look for buys to be able to react off of this order block. Does that make sense? This is the candle that went down before up. So I want to be able to play off of this candle because I know that there was some sort of banking manipulation within this candle. If you guys don't know by now, banks always have to do two things before they enter a position. They either sell to buy or they buy to sell. That's the only thing that they can do because there's no way that they can actually press a button and there be enough liquidity to back the other side of their trade. If I want to sell you apples, you have to be hungry, right? If I'm going to sell you like water, you got to be thirsty. But if you're not thirsty, you're not going to buy no water from me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. If I want to buy in this market, there has to be a seller. If somebody's going to sell this market, somebody has to buy that position. So if a bank is going to open up a huge ass order and it's going to move the market, there has to be enough people to back the other side of the trade. Unfortunately, they lose. Fortunately for the bank, they take their money. But unfortunately for most people, they will lose to the bank. So what we do is we trade with them. And it's the only way you're going to be profitable over time. Guaranteed. You understand? There's a million strategies out there. Don't play me on this one because I've tried every single strategy out there, dude. I've tried every indicator. I tried all this other stuff. Just focus on what's working and what's duplicating the most success. And it's these order blocks after the liquidity sweep. So I mapped out this trade. The buy would be right here, the stop loss would be right here, and the take profit would be at the new high. Take profit would be at the new high, and that is a 1 to 8.5 risk to reward. So for every dollar that you risk, you would be making 8.5. You could take it higher, you could take it lower. It doesn't matter where you want to take it. I know a lot of people like to do their 1 to 3s. Here's your 1 to 3. Here's a 1 to 4. Here's a 1 to 5. Here's a 1 to 6. So however you want to play it, just remember that the farther you try to shoot it, the more likely it's going to reverse on you. Okay. The farther you try to shoot it, the more likely it is to reverse. And then, you could get stuck either holding the bag or you could get stuck kind of having to take profit early because it didn't reach your target. So just be aware that the farther you try to shoot it, the sexier it's going to look on social media, right? But also, the farther you try to shoot it, the more likely you're going to be holding the bag and not taking profit at your TP. So that's just the case, okay? But this is the target overall. Here's the deal. That's the TP. I'm going to mark it up with a target high. Boom. And that was where I wanted to take profit. Now, let's go ahead and watch it. Let's go ahead and watch it because I put this on my story because it was like super clean and it happened and played out today. Check this out. This came down here and it activated the entry right here. So as soon as the market came into this area, my orders were filled. Like anybody who's taking this trade was filled. Everybody was in and they took this buy and you had a stop loss below the low. Okay. Now, immediately once that happened, it just started jumping. It started jumping and jumping and jumping. And at this point, it just broke structure. It broke this high and it was really telling you, like, yo, you good. Like this is going. So at this point, you could take your stop loss and move it to break even. Okay. At this point, you don't need to take any more risk because you're already in profit. You might as well protect yourself. And the market continued to the target, right? And boom, it smashed through the target. You would have taken profit on your trade. And that was that. That was a great trade today. After that, you can see right after that, it just kept going. It's kind of here right now. This is where it's at right now. So this is today. Great trade setup. And I definitely took a screenshot of this one and put it in my favorites. I have a folder. I have a folder of all the best setups. And this one was definitely in there because it was just so clean. And then one more setup I want to go over for you guys. And I want to see if I can find a sell so I could kind of have one of each. But here's one that I just found right now because it happens so often. I'm going to run it back for you guys. I'm going to run it back. This is a 1 minute time frame. Okay. 1 minute time frame. And I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So you got first thing you want to look for is the trend, right? Obviously we're trending higher. We got a higher high, higher low. We got a higher high, higher low, right? And so if we look at this, we just got another higher high. So we're still bullish, but then we just got this lower low. Does everybody understand why this is a lower low? The only reason this is a lower low is because this low created this high. The only way you can get a lower low, why was this not a lower low? Why is this the lower low? The reason this is not the lower low is because this did not make a lower high, or I'm sorry, a higher high. You can only get a new lower low if you had a new higher high. So, you know, we had this higher high, then we had this higher low, then we had this higher high, and then we had this higher low. And the only reason this is a higher low is because we made a higher high. So as soon as we broke this low, now we've officially, this is what's called a change of character. This is what we call a change of character. I'm going to go ahead and draw it out. This is what we call a COC, if you know what I mean. Change of character. You can put it here, you can put it there, it doesn't really matter, whatever. Change of character right here, okay? Now, as soon as we changed character, you can see like this is officially changing of character. We've broken this, we closed below this higher low. We've officially formulated our new lower low. And now what we look for is the range. This is the range now, right? This whole move right here is the range. Now I want you guys to look at something. Let's zoom in really quick. I want you guys to see something. What is this? What is this? This is what some people will call a trend line, yeah? This is what some people call a trend line, yeah? I know my boys that watch YouTube University, this is their favorite setup. They be taking sells right here, and then the market comes and rams you out, and you think that's just how the game goes. But in reality, this trend line was set up to trap people, and then when the market came up here, it took it out. So this is the same as we were talking about earlier. This is liquidity. So this was a high. There was money up here, right? It came and it took the money, and then we went ahead and swept the high. As soon as it swept the high, it broke the low. So we swept the high, and then we broke the low. Perfect setup. We're ready to take a trade. Where do we take our trade? Does anybody remember what I said earlier? The order block after the liquidity sweep, right? The order block after the liquidity sweep, the last up candle before the down move, or the last down candle before the up move. Now, what does that look like? Well, if you look, this is the down move. This is the down move. What was the last up candle? This one, right? This was the last up candle. Now, some people might say this one. And this is where it gets a little controversial, because I used to take this as the institutional candle. This would be the one that I want to play off. But here's the reason why that one didn't work. Because we're starting to see that the range is in here now. The market already shifted momentum. So if it's going to continue lower with the momentum, why would it turn all the way around up here, right? For example, let me draw it out. If we're going to continue lower, why in the hell would we come all the way back up here, right? We don't need to come all the way back up here. The reason we don't need to come back all the way up here is because we have this candle right here. And this is the exact same thing as this one. This one is the one that swept liquidity here, right? So this candle swept liquidity. That's the institutional move. Yeah, this is the institutional move. But then we broke structure. And in this break of structure move, we had an order block. This candle makes no sense why it's here. This was going to continue down, but all of a sudden it just went up really quick before it went down. So that's freaking sus. That's freaking sus as shit. Why the hell would this candle go up before going down? The only reason why is because that's a banker candle. That's an order block. This is where a bank bought a position to pump the price, then sold a position to dump the price. And then we're trying to play off of that open order. Definitely going to, remember I said this is advanced stuff. So if you guys are paying attention, you guys are getting the sauce. But this is the candle that you would want to play off of right here. This is the candle that you would want to play off of, right? Marking that up with a dark gray box so you guys can see it visually. This is the liquidity sweep, right? This is the liquidity. This is the sweep. This is the change of character. This is the order block. So it goes liquidity, sweep, change of character, order block. Now what do we want to see? We want to see this. We want to see this come up here and drop. That's really it. That's really what we want to see. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Market comes up. Market comes up. Ooh. Market comes up, market comes up. I'm gonna go ahead and draw this out for you. A short position looks like this. You're taking a sell, which is the opposite of a buy. You're putting your stop loss above this high, and you're targeting somewhere down here in the lows, okay? Now I see liquidity right here. I see imbalance right here. So you could be targeting this imbalance. This is a 1 to 5 right here. This is a 1 to 5 right here. And then you also have, other imbalances down here you could shoot for. It just, remember, the farther that you try to shoot it, the more likely it's going to turn around. So let's just go ahead and go 1 to 5. Just for this example, I'm going to go 1 to 5. That's plenty of gain. It's plenty of gain. 1 to 5 is nothing small. 1 to 5 is great. So let's go ahead and run that. And this will be it. And we'll close out with this and I'll pass it. But that's what that looks like. That's what that looks like, right? This is what this looks like. When you're seeing it come up in here and look how fast it's reacting, right? I want to move this for a second. Look how fast this reacted from here. That's how you know you got it right. If the market is doing some weird ass stuff when it's in here and it's not moving right away, it's probably not the spot. But if it comes and it hits it and it turns around aggressively, that's how you know you pinned it. You pinned it, you got it. You should go into profit almost immediately. This was literally like less than 30 seconds and you would have gone into profit. You understand? Less than 30 seconds. So if you don't got any patience, then this is for you. Because this is the spot that you would have been able to get that entry that literally went into profit immediately, and then it came back for a second touch, and then it dropped again. But if you were paying attention to this, you might have been able to catch this, but in reality, you would have been in here. You would have been in there. You would have been able to protect your entry. TP hit over here, and that's pretty much it. That was a solid trade. So if you want to screenshot that, study it, because these are the setups that have been changing my game ever since I kind of been practicing this. So ever since I put this into practice, it's been bettering my accounts. I've been seeing a lot more blue, a lot less red, and a lot more farther targets. 1 to 5s are clearing like super quick. You're seeing this thing even dumped even more. This is 1 to 8, 1 to 7.5. So you're seeing huge risk to reward just off of these entries. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys had some time to screenshot it and study it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm going to pass it over to my boy Caesar, because I know that he's got some trades that we got to look at, because if he's taking trades, I want to know what he's taking. And, we got to make sure we're paying attention. So let's see how the chat's doing, man. Let's see how the chat's doing. I don't want to leave you with a dead chat. Drop some 777s in the chat if you guys are paying attention. You guys got some value. You guys are ready for Caesar, because he's about to drop the sauce, and he's definitely not going to speak upon deaf ears, if you know what I'm saying. Kevo says market's abundant. No need to be greedy. Nadia says, wow. Yes, I hope you screenshot it. I hope you got to take pictures, study that for sure. Alan says fire. Look at that. Sauce, holy, secret sauce. You know how it goes, man. I ain't holding nothing back. 7777777. Looks like they're ready for you, bro. Take it away. Let's get it.
Yo, family. I really need y'all to understand Jay. I appreciate you, my guy. That was nothing but straight sauce. So, fam, if you got some value from him, if you had some breakthroughs, do me a favor and really just drop some $signs in the chat. Because if you know, after that kind of sauce, you're ready to take a funded challenge already. Like, bro, forget the whole bounce back boot camp. I mean, definitely still go do that. Still go through that. Right. But nah, like, bro, that was some dead ass heat, bro. Dead ass, like, there's the bar and then there's Rays like tenfold. So this nigga say Grant Cardone, 10x, baby. So yo, that's mad fire, bro. I appreciate you. I'm a little mad. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a little mad. Cause you done like raised the bar so high. You know that tall basketball player, nigga just holding the ball like this, and so you jumping with all your might. Give me that shit. Like you jumping, you're just not getting it. I feel like that's me right now. But nah, yo, definitely not ready to disappoint y'all. Yo, definitely got some, not so much of a lesson, just a review of trade that I took last night. And also, I want to look at the markets with you guys live, see if we can go ahead and, mark some charts together, see if we get some setups ready for, tomorrow. There's no real news with USD, but I really do love to trade USD. So let me go ahead, actually, give me a second, share my screen, and let's get this thing rolling. Cool. Yeah, I can see my screen, right? Fire, 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 fire. So this trade last night, AUD USD, if you know, you know, this was actually called out by Mike Nav. And it was funny because I had it marked up prior than the GOAT himself calling it out. But you know, if Mike Nav sneezes, I'm gonna say bless you. Feel me? If he needs a wipe, I'm gonna be right there with the toilet paper. Feel me? So like when he says this is what the market's gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and reanalyze, look, and confirm, right? And pretty much, you know, it was pretty much the same thing what Jay was saying, right? You want to go ahead, let's bring this back, right? You want to go ahead and look for any kind of liquidity to be swept primarily, right? So what I saw was we had a high here, we had market come up, not picture perfect, right? Not exactly, right? Sometimes, like Jay mentioned prior, it could be a trend line trap. It could be, you know, just a little bit of wick century. You want to focus on the bodies. It could be a combination of liquidity buildup, but it's just that a buildup of stop losses, right? So price ran through here, price came up, rejected almost at the same level, came back up again, rejected damn near, right? And then price comes up, rejects at the same candle wick here. This is an all-around zone of liquidity, right? This is something that I saw the market could potentially just go and aim for, right? So what happens? Price comes in, and then immediately after, right? What does it leave behind? Another set of stop losses, right? We have a wick here. We have price come in to a relative area, high key as well. What I literally love to look for is body, like something called like a twin peak, right? Two body candles, literally just like no wicks, literally just flat surface bottom, right? That is screaming to me liquidity, no matter the time frame, right? So that's what I saw. And so what I want to see literally is just this most simplest form of Wyckoff expansion into a consolidation reversal expansion, right? So we have expansion consolidation. We have sweep first set of liquidity pretty immediately after we sweep the second set of liquidity. So cool. There's our play, right? Awesome. So what happens here? We can go ahead into the lower time frame now. Where's that order block that Jay was just talking on, right? The last push up that cut before the major push down, right? So that's going to be this block here. Now, not only was this my entry because I really liked it, but here's the thing: this block swept liquidity. But if we go to even a smaller time frame, this is the block that's also, let me see if I can pull this bad boy out. Right, this is the block that's also going to be within, oh, no. This is the block that's also going to be inside of an inbounce, right? So literally, if we go back to phase 3 of bounce back, episode, I don't even know, sniper entries number 2, leave Valentino, that's literally the blueprint for this. If you have an institutional candle or an order block that just swept liquidity and is the last push up or down before the impulse, right? And it's within the inbounds, this is your highest probability for the snipe, right? For the pew pew, you know, sniper gang Kodak, right? So now it's also just great timing because it's actually like just happened right before. So like at 2:30 is when the trade happened, so just before London. So really, you know, it was just a great impulse play, right? So price is gonna go ahead, start building up, right? We get to 2:30, boom, sniped in, right? So we're looking at about a 9 pip stop loss. Where do we take it? Now again, we could take it at imbalances, we could take it at, you know, liquidity. I looked at, you know, higher time frame is king. All I saw was just, you know, what I claimed as a POI, right? Point of interest, right? The last push down candle before price came up, low key breaking structure, right? High, low, low right here with this wick, high, low, and then boom, break a structure, and we kept pushing up, right? Low key created a, you know, some people from YouTube University love to call a trend line, right? And obviously, as we saw, we're going to be aiming kind of like this, right? Trend line trap, right? So we're going to go ahead and just aim to, all right, break that trend line, but also start running the play, right? So boom, oh wait, boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. Right, 6.5 secure just on this one trade alone. If you have a funded account, amazing. If you have your regular account, even better, right? Compound that bad boy. I mean, you know, all right. I know people who became funded off of one-to-ones. They're trading harder, not smarter. But listen, like this alone is phenomenal, right? So that was AU for just that one trade, right? So cool. Let's look at the markets live, guys. I want to see what's going on, see how we can catch a bag together as a family. What I'm gonna do is let's look over some USD pairs. Give me a second. Cool, 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 cool. So first, you already know if we have to start off with some USD pairs, we gotta look at what big dollar DXY is doing, right? And so let me clean this up a bit. What I saw here was pretty much we're coming into 2 levels, right? Price, we know for the long here. Let's go to a weekly, right? Top down analysis, my body, funded my soul, right? You already know since literally May 3rd, we've been all gas, no brakes to the upside, right? So fire. So that means at some point we have to retrace. When to where, I don't know, right? But what I do know for a fact is as we're dropping, we're going to hit certain key levels, right? And as we see here, if we read just regular old market structure, cool. Let me get rid of this. We're going to have the low, the high, low, high, low, high, and now we're naturally retracing, right? So if this is the last low that created that high, right, lower low into our higher high, then we now have to recognize our range, right? So here's going to be our range, low here, figured out to the high. So naturally, we can see price retracing into the 786, 886, sniper zone, right? Now, it doesn't have to. That's just our strategy, as you know. It just a strategy is just an edge in the market. It is not law. So where I definitely do think price can just innately go is into this daily just price action level, right? What was once resistance, not once but twice, can now turn into some form of support, right? Pretty much, if you guys don't know what that is, pretty much, bang, right? So again, right, what was once resistance in the market can now turn into support, right? And that's how we can go about looking at this. So I definitely think not only price is going to come into these kind of weekly levels, but I think for sure we can also look to play in the order block, right? The last push down before price started to move back to the upside, right? So I definitely think, and I'm pretty sure it actually aligned with the 786, 886 overall. Let me just double check that. Yeah, that's pretty fire, right? The 886 is actually right there. So that's on the daily. Break it down to the 4 and the 8 hour. Right. I really just saw this last order block. I would love for price, there's liquidity, a whole bunch of equal lows. I would love for us to get swept and at least play into the 786, 886 zone, right? So cool, awesome. DXY, in my personal opinion, is bearish, right? What does that mean for all these pairs right there? Well, when we got to remember when AUD is this example, right? AUD and USD, this is two currencies battling one another, right? For dominance. So if the DXY is bearish, that literally means the dollar is losing value, right? So any pair that is paired up against the dollar is now innately stronger, right? So if we're looking at this as the dollar is weaker and AUD is naturally going to be stronger, you got to remember first pair is buys, second pair is sells, right? So if we want the AUD, if we want US dollar to drop in value, we think AUD is going to rise, right? So we see here, we've actually been, I'm actually going to clean this up a bit. Let's start from scratch, guys. What I see naturally already is, let me get rid of this. Cool. What I see already is price has literally just been playing nothing but, well-respected mitigations, right? We come into the low, break a structure, come back into the last push down candle, come back up, breaking more structure. We retrace back into this last bearish candle. And low key, it was looking like it's probably like a 786 retracement. Yep. Right. So awesome. So we just came into this. So what I'm now interested in is if we can retrace back into here because, we just created lower low, higher high, higher low, looking to create a higher high, confirm it to a higher low, right? Bearish. All the way to where I'm liking this candle, right? For a lot of reasons, but just trust me, right? Men lie, women lie. I was about to say the markets don't, but they kind of do, right? They kind of do. Anyways, so I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and break this down even more. 4 hour, I see nothing. 1 hour, okay, we're getting a little saucy. And look at this, right? So we just swept all this liquidity. So that's actually a great confirmation, right? Mind you, this was a 786 retracement into this zone over here. So let's just, bang, right? Ran up, mitigated, awesome. So where is it that we had, the last push down before the impulse? That's going to be this move here, right? Now, granted, it might be too early to tell that this is the top because price could just continue going up, right? But I'm actually curious in two zones. We have the first zone here, quite obviously, and then we actually have this zone here. Now, why this zone? Because we got to remember, right? We're looking for the last push before the break of structure, right? So the break of structure was here, the sweep of liquidity. Let's label it BO. Label this, right? If that's going to be our break, what was the last push down? Because remember, if we were just high, low, high, this could just be a lower high, right? A natural retracement for the market before continuing lower, right? So literally we could have just seen this here, and then gone through, right? Let me just, right, we could have seen this. So it wasn't until we had this last move down and then finally the break up, right? Oh, you get it, right? The break up, that price went ahead and started, oh shit, right? Damn it. Come on. Okay, cool. Right. Started doing all that. Awesome, 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 awesome. Cool. Right. So that's where I'm currently looking at. Let me just break this down to a smaller time frame. I mean, we play price action really well as well. High, low, high. Nah, but we have this imbalance down here. High key, yeah. I like it down here. So for right now, definitely this zone right here, I'm definitely liking. To catch a continuation buy to the upside, that would definitely be great, especially if on the daily US dollar sales going to drop. Let me see here. Definitely stop loss below here. Cool, 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 cool. Let's see. And then I would look for entry within this imbalance. Even numbers, even numbers only, even numbers. Right. Definitely looking for something in here, right? Imbalance to be filled within the market. So that's one confirmation. Also, look for liquidity. Was liquidity not swept right here? Right? Whole bunch of supports that just got taken out. Right. So I'm definitely liking this AUD potential, right? But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what London gives us. We'll see what New York. This might be a little wishful thinking because it's kind of deep, but you know what? Hey, you never know what the markets can do, right? So that's AU fire. Let's look at EU, which actually no, you know what? Let me go to NU because if you know, a lot of these pairs can trade the same, and high key, high key, AU and NU are going to be damn near the same, right? And if you see already, right, back on the 8 hour, price came back mitigated. Um, Definitely did not have a deep enough retracement, but we did play the last bearish candle before the break of structure, right? So we definitely came back into here. So I'm actually curious to see what we got within that structure. Let's go to the 4 hour, right? So we definitely did sweep some higher time frame liquidities with this last, push down before up. Um, Bang, 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 bang. Cool. So I'm curious. Price is definitely pushing some major P, and this is the last right push down before the impulse. But I'm curious to see if we can actually go a little deeper. Pause. Pause. Actually, nah. We're gonna leave this like that. All right, cool. Let's break this down. Oh, definitely swept. Did it play any kind of price action? It did. All around key zone. If you know, you know. Like here. Right. It was one support, turned into resistance, broke through, then turned into support. So definitely an all-around key level. Like that a lot, honestly. Came in, swept some liquidity, broke some structure, like that a lot. So definitely, definitely. And then finally, can we get, yes, any kind of smaller time frame sweep of liquidity, right? Again, literally just like how AU is, AEU or NU is, right? So this is why I love trading certain kind of pairs, because if you trade one, you trade a majority more, right? So again, let's trade smarter, not just harder. Feel me? So fire, 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 fire. Swept, ran. Did it leave an imbalance? We most definitely did. Cool, cool, cool. Right. Left the imbalance there in the market. Did we end up breaking structure? Wasn't until here, a little deeper, right? But we definitely did. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mark this out, send alert. I am liking this kind of deeper. And guys, just because we mark it doesn't mean it's a definite play. By all means, set a alert and wait for a smaller time confirmation. If you trained your eyes to that. So just wait for like a 5 or 15 minute or 5 minute, 1 minute kind of wipe off schematic. And then from there, definitely would be a fire play, some great RR for sure. Um, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, no, that would be pretty fire. So we have liquidity here to be swept, liquidity here to be swept. So definitely think this would be a banger of a trade. How much we risking? Properly. That's how much. Not the rent, not the car note, right? Properly. Cool, 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 cool. Let me go ahead. LB, awesome. Let's look at EU and GU, and then we're gonna go ahead and close it off there, guys. So go back to the daily. What happened here? Oh yeah, daily levels. We're actually almost at something here. So Jay, I'm gonna need your opinion, bro. High key. So
What's up,
this is
G?
what I saw. This is what I saw on the daily level. I'm gonna watch your opinion. So obviously, we swept some. So on the daily, we swept some higher time frame liquidity here, that's impulse, and then major drop, right? Now this wick, let me delete all these. Bang, bang, bang. This wick, would you consider that the sweep of all this 4-day liquidity buildup? Or would you just say that is part of liquidity because it's only a stop run and not so much a fundamental body,
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely swept something because look at the
right?
reaction it had after that. Definitely
Mm,
dumped. So if you
right.
maybe drop down the time frame, 4 hour, I'm sure you'll find the candle.
Let's
Um,
throw.
mhm.
Boom. Right
It
there.
looks like that was it. And then yeah, and then if you go even down to like the 1 hour too, you might even be able to see the whole sweep and order block. It looks like that's the OB.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely as well, I was looking at safer stop loss, here, and then but like you said, right, smaller time frame for that for that true OB, which would probably be here, right? Because watch, 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 watch. This is what I saw. I think I went down to 5, bro. Um, let's see, let's see. Let's go ahead, break this down, right? So what we see here, fam, let me just backtrack this, is we literally have nothing but not only equal highs, but we also do have a imbalance that needs to be come in and tapped into minimum or even fulfilled, something like right there. And so that's exactly what price does. It comes in. Oh, there we go. One more. There we go. Right. Price comes in, we sweep it, and then we start to immediately drop, like react, right? Bang, gone. So maybe we touch 50. I wonder what the 5 and the 3 minute show. Oh yeah, some kind of price action for sure. For sure, right there. So okay, cool, cool, cool. So at that point, honestly, so it'd be safe to say, Jay, in your opinion, definitely new stop loss will be here since that's the structural range.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure. I would actually put it a little bit above it because one thing that's
mm,
happened a lot is that, it might even come and spread comes and taps you out before it tanks, but still respects the high.
mm,
So you got to be
got you.
careful with that because, yeah, that happened to me a couple times already, and it's a little frustrating.
The fucking markets, it's like they're manipulated.
Hmm.
Like they want to see you to lose. Cool, right? EU definitely want to see it continue to buy up more into this area. But let me see, because we actually have some liquidity here, right? I would deem some liquidity. So that'd be pretty fire, right? Maybe a bit of a counter trend because we definitely want the DXY to lose value, but however, right, it doesn't even hurt to take quick 3 to 1s. So this would actually be boom. This would literally be a quick 3 to 1, right? Reaction play at that point. Not even so much like Jay said, the longer you hold it, the more of a chance you have for it to actually, retrace, not hit CP, reverse, whatever, right? So that would actually. Oh wait, that's not even a little price. Haha. JK, JK, guys, JK. Never mind. Okay, cool. Let's look back. Let's look back. Let's look back. Let's see what's been happening. Um, for 4 hour. Cool, 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 cool. Definitely want price to continue going higher. I mean, I really don't. High, low, high, low, high, low, break a structure. But I think this would be way too deep. TBH, like all the way down here. Price broke, structure, played a format of played a form of price action that continue higher, came down. I'm actually curious. What does the 1 hour show? This definitely swept some kind of liquidity. Let's actually label this correct. High key. I just really don't know because we have this too.
Yo, I see something.
You want a screen, baby boy? You can have
No, no,
GUE
no. I
and
got you. Let
come
me see if I
on.
can annotate on here.
I got you.
Maybe
Got you.
not.
Boom.
But
Stop loss
so
it.
you see where that liquidity was that you just marked up the first one?
No. Yep.
Yeah. So that sweep that you said, I think that was the sweep, and it filled the imbalance. And then when it
But
broke, it left this little OB. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It left that little OB right there. So even if
uh,
it's in the middle of the range, it's still a good one because look what's above it. You still have those that trend line liquidity right above it. It could come
yeah.
straight into that OB, take that on the open, stop loss below the low, and continue that trend. So you don't have to wait for it to get all the way down there at the bottom.
I'm, I
Um,
like it.
and you could catch
Speaking.
that to break the new high. So that's one thing that could play out for sure.
I like that, Jay. I like we speak wisdom and knowledge into my ear. That was hot. Let's do that more often. That's fire. Cool, cool, cool. Stamped of approve by JK's himself. That's so dope. Say that. All right, that's EU right there. Boom. Let's go 4 for 4 with GU. Actually, I kind of saw something here. Let me just double check. High, low, high. It was a break there. Price came. Let's look. Actually, I kind of see it. I'm gonna just ignore the bottom for right now. But this is what I see. Actually, we definitely swept here. We swept that, came in, played back into it, damn near, and then broke structure. Actually, yeah, ignore this. Right? Sweep, impulse, would it leave? Left an imbalance, right? Not just that, it has liquidity. So there's incentive for price to come back. I am liking this area for sure. Let's go ahead. SL's my body, TP my soul. Cool. That would be a great play, actually. Let me go to 30 minutes for this one. Yeah, there it is. All right, cool. For sure. For sure. I do like this one as well. Fire. Um, there we go. This is looking like a great one as well, based off of everything. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. What is this? Like 10 pip stop loss, 10.2. So that's really not bad. It's definitely looking for this one on GU. Based off of this last sweep before the impulse, broke structure, right? Left an imbalance and also ordered black before the impulse, right? So definitely, definitely do like this one as well. And then where can we take it? I mean, that's screaming to me. But again, the longer you hold it, the more of a chance it leave for it to reverse. So
Mm-hmm.
that is
You
interesting. Yo,
right there, you see where you just put that liquidity.
yep.
You want to zoom in there really quick? I want to teach
It's like small
something.
time frame.
Or just like kind of open it up. Maybe my screen is just a little bit too like yeah, yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you see if you look left to right, it actually created equal highs and then that one candle actually swept it.
Yep.
So that was an institutional sweep, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
right after that, you can see the order block. Dude, I'm at this point, I see order blocks in my dreams at this point. But I'd be uh I'd be on the charts too much these days. But okay, so
Bro.
30 minutes. If you go to the 30-minute time frame real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see how this played
Mm.
out. Yeah, so you have that one that swept liquidity, and then you also have the one right underneath it too. Um,
Hold
the
up.
next
I
one
got
right after that, which could be the second in command type.
this.
Not that one, but the next one, the next white candle that goes up, that one. That's one thing
Mm.
that so that's the OB. That's the OB after the
Oh.
institutional sweep. So it doesn't look like a swept liquidity, but it's the one, it's the kind of secondary push. It plays out sometimes, actually a lot. It plays out a lot, but yeah, it can definitely play out. It's a little bit more in the middle of the range than the actual institutional candle. So
Mhm.
just keep that in mind because it could be. beneficial because it can definitely run farther, but it can also clap that and then go straight to the other one. So you
Right.
just kind of have to play it by ear, and once you get that distribution, if you get like a 5 minute distribution in there, like right now
Mhm.
you're getting that liquidity accumulating right underneath it, dude.
Mhm.
That looks
Yeah.
that looks pretty
That
clean, bro.
looks
Something's
that
coming up,
looks
and something's gonna happen tonight in London. So let's see
I
what's
might stay
good.
up. No, right.
If you
Let's
let me
see.
know, man, I'll pass out. I'm gonna wake up at 8:30 and get ready for New York session.
That's
But
smart. That's smart. I do like that though. That would be fire. No, I do like this one for sure. Like I don't
yeah,
know.
I
I
like
just
that
like
one
learning more.
too. I
Yeah.
like that one too. But yeah, bro, I'm gonna have both of those marked up and just see what happens, and I'll come back to it tomorrow and see what's good, so we can post in the
No,
chat and all
say that. If you was on Money Heist, Jay, at this point, you're the
that.
type of dude who looks at clouds and like, what do you see in it for me? And you're like, order blocks. That's what I
Facts,
see. That's fire. Well, ooh,
facts.
GU definitely looking at sales to buy, ping pong this market left and right. That's so fire, bro. Say that. Fam, we've been on here for a minute. A grip. I appreciate you all for taking the time out of your days and really, just coming to learn, coming to get value, and really just coming to get a bag together as a community. There's something dope. There's something I wish to continue. And yo, Jonny, my brother, I appreciate you, bro, for coming and popping the fuck off for the team. I definitely learned a lot. Forget these guys. I learned a shit ton. So, yo, fam, I appreciate you all for making this call happen if possible. Stay tuned next week because I got something on my sleeve for a very special guest as well. But as always, I'm your host, CDG. You can follow me right there, right? And as always, stay patient, stay disciplined, and the gains will come. Okay. Good night, everybody.